Satnam, aloha, welcome to the live stream. Just want to make sure that it's on. Looks like everything's good. Okay. So what's all this about? When's the new year? Well, the new year is in January 1st, which I'm going to go into. And let's just talk about this man-made calendar that we've all bought into. So where does it come from? This Gregorian calendar, man-made calendar. Well, in the days of the Romans, way back in the Romans, they worshipped a god named Janus. And Caesar thought it would be a good idea to honor the god Janus by making January the doorway into this new year. So that's why the Julian calendar starts on January 1st, right? The first day of the new year. So when Rome started conquering new lands, this calendar was imposed on these colonized people to remind them of the power and the authority of Rome and Caesar's power, i.e. ego. So the Romans on January 1st, they'd celebrate by having drunken orgies. So when Rome fell and Christianity took over, they moved this new year to Christianize it, right? So they moved it to March 25th because that's the day the Virgin Mary announced she was pregnant with little Jesus. So some countries were using December 25th, some were using March 25th, some were using Easter Sunday. So this created a lot of chaos for a while. And then Pope Gregory in the Middle Ages put an end to all of this confusion, right? Caesar's calendar had caused errors in the misalignment with the solar year, right? So the spring equinox and Easter kept moving up. So by 1582, the difference grew by 11 days. So he restored January 1st as the first day of the year. And this is why we have our leap years, right? Every 4 years is to be able to stay in alignment with this man-made calendar. So this is how the mind measures time, right? This measurement of time. But is it really beginning of the new year? Is it really the beginning of the new? Energetically, is this the beginning? Well, no. So if you look at the human design mandala, the rave mandala that it's called, which I'll pull up, right? So let me see. So you can see this is the wheel. So all of these, it takes about a year to move through each one of these archetypes. You can call them archetypes or hexagrams of the I Ching. And you can see here the astrological symbols, right? Like right now we're in Aquarius, right? Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and so on and so on. So we're moving through this. So we move through this, and then we come back to the beginning, right? The 41st hexagram. So this is the start codon. See this 41st is the start codon. And it's a genetic start codon. And so this 41st hexagram rules the beginning of everything. And does it fall on the man-made calendar of January 1st? No. So look where January 1st falls. Look just before that 41st hexagram. It falls in the 60th hexagram. And the 60th hexagram is all about limitation and restriction. So no wonder most New Year's resolutions fail. They're only a to-do list for the week, right? And then they get quickly dropped because we're not supported by that energy. It's like we're moving against the river. So this is the arrogance of the mind, right? I will decide when the new year begins, and it must be logical, and it must be analytical, and it must fit into this little box, right? That's the patriarchy. That's the masculine mind. I am bigger than universal law, right? I'm bigger than divine law. I write the laws. Ego writes the laws. And yes, this did work for the last 2,000 years, but that's all coming to an end now, right? Divine law is coming back to the planet. And as we and our world comes right side up again, right? This is what's happening because everything has been upside down in this dark age. So really hold up. My message is to hold up making any New Year's resolutions for on January 1st. Go out and celebrate, right, with the masses, but by no means believe that this is the start to anything new. So what do you do in this time of the 60th hexagram? Remember, the 60th hexagram rules structures, right? Limitations and structures. So right now these structures are falling, right? They're falling, they're collapsing for the Aquarian age. So this new consciousness can come in and start to create brand new structures. This is about discipline. And sadness is a perfect example of that, like something that really supports you. This is a time to take pause and really reflect on what's going to really support me going forward in these next 7 years. Not just this 1 year, but the next 7 years. So this is, it would behoove you to take pause because it's like you've been writing a book and you're finishing that book you started writing 7 years ago, way back in 2012. And doesn't that seem like a lifetime ago? When you think, like, well, what was going on in 2012? Because it was. There's so many changes that have happened. So this is really a time to be internal. It's a time to contemplate, right? It's a time to be reflective. It's not a time to set goals and timelines and milestone markers and this is what I'm going to do and that's what I'm going to do. Using your ego, that's the old way. It's really a time to listen to your soul, right? We're spiritual beings having human experiences, and our 7-year cycle of human experience is coming to an end. Not just this year, but 7 years is coming to an end. So we're about to embark on a whole new 7-year cycle from 2020 to 2027. And that's what I'm going into great depth in my Solar Plexus Mutation webinar series. And it got bumped until January 5th and January 12th because the holiday season I spent in a fever, like a literal fever. So, was working through this infection in my intestines and my solar plexus region. So I feel like the universe was preparing me for this mutation webinar. You can click the link below to learn more about it. So there's still time for you to join in. So this time is really about completion energy, right? God, in the tradition of Kundalini Yoga meditation, God is an acronym and it stands for generating, organizing, destroying, or delivering, right? So the destroying is the completion energy. So who do you need closure with? Right? Take a moment to reflect on these questions. Like, who do you need closure with? Who do you need to forgive? Right? Even if they passed on to the other side, who do you need to forgive? Because you can do the spiritual work without them, right? Being physically present. But you can't go forward carrying this, right? In the Aquarian age, we have to travel light. And that means we can't drag these old grudges and grievances with us towards others and towards ourselves ultimately. Right? And do you feel any attachment to keeping things as they were, the old ways of being, right? In your relationships. Maybe you're parting ways with a person that used to be very, very close to you, right? I'm not saying these are easy things to do. Right? Emotionally, they can be challenging and difficult, but they have to be done. It's what it means to be human, right? It's to go through the sadness, anger, fear, grief. So are you resisting the change that's coming into your life in 2020, right? If you really feel yourself, if you go deep inside yourself, you can feel something, right? We're in tune with this energy, like something big is coming in 2020 for all of us, right? Are you resisting this change that's coming? And right, and through the solar plexus or the solar eclipse, right? Something happened during the solar eclipse for everyone. Maybe not on the day, maybe a week prior to the date, maybe 2 weeks prior, and on. Maybe now it's happening for you, but some kind of crisis has happened, and the crisis is to show you what you need to let go of, so that inspiration can come. That's a key word, inspiration. So inspiring thoughts. And I've been flooded with inspiration, right? Since my solar eclipse experience was the getting sick, because I usually don't get sick. I have a very good constitution. So let's go to the past again. Does your mind and ego flare up from time to time, reflecting on the past, like getting angry when you remember that somebody said that to you, or that person did that to you, or they betrayed you, or they ripped you off, whatever it is, right? That's the mind and the ego flaring up, right? Reflecting on the past. This means that you haven't let go at the emotional level. We can let go at the mental level. That's really easy. But to let go at the emotional level, that's the real work, right? To let go of that. So what negative habits do you need to let go of? That's a good one. Maybe it's an addiction, right? Not the usual suspects, right? Drugs, alcohol. Could be an addiction to negative thinking, right? Always thinking of the worst. Your mind's always thinking of worst case scenarios. Right? Limited thinking. I can't do this because I tried that 10 years ago and it didn't work. Right? Judgmental thinking about yourself and others. Maybe you're addicted to something that numbs you from your feelings, that keeps you in your head and out of your body and out of your emotional body. Things like that. Things to contemplate during this window of time. And also to look at your physical surroundings, right? We've got so many planets in Capricorn right now. It's all about the earth, right? So look around at your physical surroundings, your possessions, and what energy, because all those possessions are vibrating at a certain frequency, right? What is that energy? What does that frequency represent, right? Do you have pictures of your abuser around you? Right? Things like that. What does that represent to you? That's a self-sabotaging behavior right there. These things, they look really simple, right? What these things are, but they can clog up your energy flow, right? Especially if they're no longer aligned with who you're becoming. So if you catch yourself saying should, right? I should keep that, or maybe I'll need that in the future. That's a sure sign that these things need to go. Okay. So it could be like, you've got that this set of dumbbells under your bed, always meaning to start working out at home, but it just hasn't happened. This is clogging new energy that's trying to come in for you, right? So perhaps an activity that is coming that you truly enjoy, but you haven't had the idea or the inspiration yet because these things are clogging your energy flow. So the sun moves in the 41st hexagram. Let me get right there. So there's the rave chart. We're all familiar with that, right? So there it is there, the 41st. I like to look at the mandala because you get to see the astrological signs. And then you get to see the planets, right, that are in each hexagram. So this is the snapshot of the year that's coming ahead for us. So it's moving to the 41st hexagram on January 22nd. It's a mastery number too, 22, 122. 6:04 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, right, 6:04 p.m. It's 4:04 a.m. Universal Standard Time. You can do the conversion, just go and do a time conversion for you. So that's when it moves, the exact time. So you have time to finish up old business, and you'll be supported to do this. So clearing up old businesses, and then let's Control Z that. You're receiving, right? You're receiving inspiration of what these new structures that are coming for you, that are going to support you in your journey. So, if you choose to go with the crowd and you're thinking, callous Yogi's full of bullshit, he's not right. So this is not true. The whole world thinks otherwise, right? The emperor has clothes on. I know it. Everybody tells me the emperor's got clothes on, right? You go with the crowd and you initiate. It could be a misalignment of your personal willpower, and this can result in exhaustion, right? Or worst case scenario, illness. But universal law, divine law is strengthening. You must feel it, right? With all the shadow patterns coming to the surface on the world stage. So you'll be shown quite quickly like, oh my God, this is not working, right? There's no energy here, right? So don't go into your mind, but just be in your body and you'll feel it. Oh, there's energy here. Oh, there's no energy here at all. So I want to let people know that I'll be hosting a live rebirthing webinar class on January 22nd for a deep, deep let go. So this is what I love to teach, is rebirthing. So it's using a powerful Kundalini Yoga Kriya, but it's deeper. It's much, much deeper than that, because I add to it and guide you through the whole process. So this will be going into, and then this webinar too, I'll be going deeper into the year 2020 to interpret the snapshot that you see, right? There's not enough time here to go into what all this means. So I'm not sure of the time yet, but it will be before 6:04 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. And maybe the rebirthing will overlap. And then when we switch over to the 41st, that would be really cool too. But I'll let you know the exact time. So January 22nd, right? Put that in your iCal or your calendar. And I want to thank everyone, right? I'm just filled with gratitude these days. I think it's part of this 40-day gratitude challenge I have on my Facebook page, but also feeling so much gratitude for my health and so many little things. And my experience during this holiday season, like a week of this, was a deeper trust, and that even this experience that I could totally go into victim about, because it was a worst case fear, an unconscious fear that surfaced that I got to face and confront and hurdle over. And I just went into a deep trust with the divine. And it was so perfect. It was exactly what I needed. So I'm very grateful for that. And so I want to thank everyone that supported me, especially the people that have donated money through PayPal and Patreon, all the people that have paid for my programs and my readings and other offerings. It means a lot to me to be materially supported so that I can continue to support others. So in my chart, I really got the download this week. There's so many indications in my Western astrology and my human design chart and gene keys that I'm here to support others too in their material prosperity. So I've been resisting this for so long, but I've just surrendered. So I'm going to be creating a brand new 8-week prosperity program that's coming on January 25th to start off the new year. So I'll let you know when I'm ready to receive registrants. And because we helper bees, we spiritual people, we need to be materially supported. I'm sure there are many out there that wish they could, I really want to step forward and do this, but I'm afraid. I want to hang on to this side job, or I want to hang on to that, or I'm not generating enough income myself. I'm doing it, right? And the frustration comes with it. So it's very particular for people who are on the spiritual path, or they're conscious. I mean, we're all on a spiritual path, but they're conscious that they're on the spiritual path. So it will be directed to that. And of course, the projectors, I want the projectors to join into in the human design system. So let me just see. I haven't seen any comments. Oh, there's only a couple. Okay. Thank you for joining in. So have a wonderful couple of days, and I will see you. When will I see you next? Maybe 2020. We'll see. 2020? Yeah, probably. Okay. So you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and where I post daily. And please leave your comments below how your year of 2019 has been going and what challenges you're facing. And do you feel this completion energy? Okay. And really take note, like use it as an experiment on December 31st. And it comes to the 1st. It's like, am I really feeling the new energy? Right? Like you feel it. Don't buy into the hype with the media, you know? It sets us up for failure, right? We want the divine energy supporting us. Okay? Sat Nam, aloha, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.